Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the channel Shelly's Millions, where every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. we talk about finances and budget. So, of course, today we're going to talk about how tax season is pretty much right here upon us. I just got the note from my place of employment that our W 2s are ready. And once your W 2s are ready, you can more or less file your taxes anytime you want. Now, I say more or less because even though you can file your taxes right now, the IRS isn't accepting your returns right now. And I don't mean that if you submit your tax return that it's going to bounce back or anything, but basically it goes into a queue to be processed once they begin accepting the returns. So, I am not recommending this because this isn't financial or tax or accounting advice, but it is my opinion that everyone should wait to file their taxes, especially if you have children. And that's because there are some potential tax credits that are going to maybe be implemented, but the government has not decided yet. So we are back to that. Hi, Rocky. Good morning. I do want to say something. Katie, who's one of my longtime viewers, she said recently, she said, Shelly, I've gone back and I've looked at some of your older videos and I've rewatched those. And I really miss when you used to get gussied up and make a video. So I did attempt to get gussied up this morning. I know that's not finance or budget related, but I slapped on a little makeup. I got a good night's sleep last night. It's really interesting. For those of you that don't know, I work full time at a movie theater. I really enjoy it. We just opened our full bar. So we got our full liquor license, and I've been training up people to bartend. I went to bartending school in my 20s. No fashion model still, but I did my hair and I slapped on a little makeup. So I went to bartending school in my 20s. It's just something that I was interested in doing as a hobby. Um, and so I sort of know how to do it. I also think that people are really great, or at least our guests have been really great when you're bartending. If they ask for something and you don't know how to make it, a lot of times they can just tell you, or sometimes your brain just goes out for a second. Somebody asked me if we had Tito's, and I was thinking that that was a tequila. It's a vodka. I felt silly. We don't have Tito's. We are using Kettle One. But anyway, I'm really enjoying that. It also allowed me to get off work just a little bit earlier, which allowed me to go to bed earlier, which allowed me to get up earlier today and have time to put on my face. I will be going to work later today. And so my hair is going to go up in a ponytail because this is shedding and you can't shed around food. So, sorry guys that I babbled about that. You guys know that as much as I like to talk about finance and budget, this is largely dictated by the things that you guys want to talk about. And so I just thought I would address that because Katie asked. And then she also asked about, in terms of finances, she said, Shelly, you used to always mention Webull. And I used to be like, link in the description down below, which it is linked in the description down below. I do still use them. I do still like them. We can check my Webull account balance together. I stopped mentioning them quite as much because for the most part, most of the people in my lives have been here before. So you've heard me for the most part. Sorry, I have a little itch on my nose. I feel like that's because of the makeup. Most of you guys are repeat visitors, and I don't want to shove it down your throats, basically, if you're not interested. I feel like most of the people who come to the lives, good morning, Michael, have heard me mention Webull before. And so I don't want to constantly be like, use my link to sign up below. Oh my God. I think that Webull doesn't recognize my face. Nope. It doesn't recognize my face with the makeup. How different do I look? Okay. It's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna have to, let's see, I think it's, I don't know. Mm, okay, we're in. So I do still use Webull. Let me make sure I can share this. Yes, I can. My current account balance in there is $5,607. If you guys haven't heard me mention this before, I kind of have changed my personal investment strategy. I'm not so much putting money into my Webull account. That is a traditional brokerage account for me. If you guys do use my link, let's see what the promo is right now. It changes. Looks like I would get 10 free shares, free fractional shares. Let me see what you guys get though. And it looks like it could go up to as many as 100. Let's go to start inviting and see. I always send it to myself to see what the offer is. Fund any amount and get, hang on, I can't see it because, okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. All right. Join Webull today and get up to 75 free stocks. So that would be your offer if you wanted to use my link down below. And I do get affiliate commission off of that. Or I don't get affiliate commission off that, but like I would get bonus shares too. So this says fund your account. And I believe with Webull, you only need like $1 to fund your account. With some of the others to get your free stocks, you actually have to put in more. But I got all my free stocks. I recommend, if you guys want it, let me know. But I have a Robinhood link. I have a Moomoo financial link. I have a public link, and I have an M1 finance link. I believe that everyone should get as many free shares as they can, because the chance that like Webull and Robinhood and Moomoo and Public would award you the same free stock is pretty low. And so if you have like a variety of free stocks that you get just for funding your account, hopefully with as little as $1, if you put it in all those different investment platforms, you're more likely to get a variety of stocks, and then you can kind of see what those stocks do based on like different finance trends, different pieces of news that come out. Like, how do your individual stocks that you got for free react if there's a news headline that says there's a recession? How does it react if it says that the US is sending weapons overseas? You can still tell and learn about the stock market with just a few sample free stocks. But the reason why I'm not currently putting more of my money into those is, for me, I'm 46. I don't do the Roth IRA. I do a traditional IRA, which lowers my tax liability now, and I'll have to pay taxes on that money when I withdraw it. I also have access to a 401k, and I've always maxed it out to get the company match. But I think for me, a better decision for my financial situation is to not put money in a brokerage account, because that's not tax advantaged now. And it wouldn't be tax advantaged later if it's not a Roth IRA. But I don't think I said that right. But there wouldn't be tax advantages now in these brokerage accounts. Whereas there are if I contribute to my traditional IRA or if I put that money into my 401k. So I would like to do the federal maximum first before I put additional money into a brokerage account. The thing is with both an IRA and a 401k is they give you something called an early withdrawal penalty if you withdraw the funds before you're 59 and a half. So for me, I know that the money that I'm investing, I'm not going to access for a while. So I would feel comfortable putting more in where I'd get the tax advantage. In a brokerage account, which is what Webull is for me, there's no tax advantage for doing it, but you can withdraw the funds whenever you want. If the fund you had invested in lost money, then you could actually claim that as a loss on your taxes. But if it gained money, which is what we're hoping it does, if it gains money, you would owe taxes on it, even though there's no early withdrawal penalty. You would owe taxes on it. And I don't want to pay taxes on the money. So I think I'm going to focus on IRA and 401k first. And again, I know that I'm not going to need that money. I'm not going to need to withdraw it. But anyway, so Katie, I do still like Webull. I still recommend them. Okay, and here's how you get the up to 75 free fractional shares. Most of us are not going to get 75 free fractional shares. It looks like you might get 6 fractional shares, each worth $3 to $3,000. So at a $3 value, 3 times 6 is $18. But still, if you got 6 fractional shares, you could still kind of watch to see what they did in the stock market. So it says fund any amount, meaning like $1, and you would get 6 fractional shares. If you fund between $5,000 and $24,999, you'd get 20 fractional shares. And if you put $25,000 or more into Webull, that's when you would get 75 fractional shares. And fractional shares means you're not getting like a whole share, you're getting a portion of a share. Anyway, sorry, that's not what I meant to talk about, but Katie did ask me about that, so I wanted to address that. Now, do you guys want to talk about why, in my opinion, we should wait to file taxes? Oh my goodness, Siri. Or do you guys want to talk about EDD is changing their form of payment? I was hoping that we could talk about both of those things today. And I'm probably going to make a little short video about this, but last week we were talking about the cost of a medium-sized Big Mac meal from McDonald's and how that's playing into the state of California's minimum wage going up to $20 in April. And I said that I would buy a fast food meal, the medium-sized Big Mac meal, this month in April, May, June, July, and August, September. No. April, May, June, in July, and in October, so that basically every quarter in 2024, I'm going to buy a Big Mac medium-sized meal and see how much it is. I did do that. I used the app, and the app had the McDonald's app. The McDonald's app had the medium Big Mac meal advertised for $6.50. So I did use the app to get like the discount because I want all my viewers to get the biggest discount. But one of you said you paid over 15, and I think the app can vary from person to person, but my offer on the Big Mac meal was $6.50 plus tax. So I think it came to like $7.17 for the Big Mac meal, which to me, that's still affordable. It's not like a $5, combo anymore, but the Big Mac was never like one of like a $5 combo. So, and I don't think combos have been $5 for a long time. So $6.50 for the Big Mac meal combo in size medium seemed good to me. Anyway, just thought I would share that. And I do want to make a short with that. I saved the receipt. I didn't film like me opening the food or eating the food or anything like that, but I did the research. So $6.50 plus tax in January for the medium Big Mac meal. Okay. You guys, nobody's saying anything about taxes versus the EDD stuff. So I think we're going to talk about taxes first. Is going to be my goal. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go, I don't know why I was typing Google because I'm old. Okay. Child tax credit update. How about that? How about child tax credit 2024 update? Okay, let's look at this one from Bloomberg if it lets me. Maybe Reuters if it won't let me. Now let's do this one. Let's do the Reuters one. Okay. And guys, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. And if you take a minute to like the video, please. Okay, so what we're talking about is a potential additional tax credit, which is why, in my opinion, you should wait a little bit to file your taxes this year. And it's not, if you already filed your taxes, that's fine. If they push this through, you would most likely still get a rebate. It's just you're going to be waiting on it. And I know nobody likes to wait on their money. So I would advise, not advise because I'm not an advisor, but in my opinion, I would wait to file your taxes until like maybe February 1st. They should have this all sorted by then. Okay, so according to this article, House panel advances the $78 billion tax break bill in a strong bipartisan vote. And right here in the picture, American parents, $300 child tax credit, courtesy of President Biden and congressional Democrats. So that's just a mocked up picture. That's a picture of the White House. Okay, so U.S. lawmaker. Oh, and let's give you the date of this article and who wrote it. So this was January 19th. So that was this Friday. And it doesn't say who this article is written by. Okay, Reuters. All right. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. You guys know that means to please like the video. All right. U.S. lawmakers on Friday advanced a bill to enhance tax breaks for businesses and low-income families in a strong show of bipartisan support for the largely revenue-neutral measure, despite their deep divisions over federal spending laws. The House of Representatives Ways and Means Committee approved the measure in a 40-3 vote, just 3 days after its Republican chairman announced the deal with his Democratic Senate counterpart. The Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024 would increase the child tax credit and restore the full value of declining business tax deductions for investments in research and development and plant and equipment. Okay, hold on. The tax relief, I'm going to reread that just mostly for me because like sometimes when I'm reading, I'm not also processing. So I like to sometimes read it a couple of times. So I'm going to do that with you guys. The Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024. Why would that mean we need to wait on our 2023 taxes? That's the part that's like, in my mind, but whatever. I'm going to go on with this. Would increase the child tax credit and restore the full value of declining business tax deductions for investments in research and development and plant and equipment. The changes would be effective through 2025. So they haven't totally passed this yet. When Republican passed tax cuts for individuals expire, and Congress is expected to embark on a massive tax code revamp that will be hotly debated during this year's presidential election campaign. Oh, am I going to talk politics? I think I might for a second. So, even though this is an article about a tax credit, who gets voted into office during the next presidential election is going to really affect how tax credits are given to individuals, families, children, income levels, brackets, all of that kind of thing. And I'm going to say, and I want to try and stay neutral because I respect everyone's opinion and their right to choose. I definitely think that Donald Trump, I feel like his interests lie with the ultra wealthy. And I don't think there's anything, let me be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with being ultra wealthy. I would love to one day be ultra wealthy. I've named the channel Shelly's Millions. And I'm going to want to take as many tax credits as I can. With that said, I think that if you're ultra wealthy, that you have some responsibility to try and take care of those less fortunate than yourself, right? And I think that's what gets lost on a lot of people who have a lot of wealth. On the flip side of that coin, I know it's people are like, I don't want to pay to support people who choose to submit to addiction and things like that. So it's a slippery slope. And all I'm going to say is I do think that if Donald Trump gets elected, I feel like because he is ultra wealthy that he would and because a lot of his friend circle is ultra wealthy and that he knows a lot of business owners, that he's going to try and protect their interest. That's not to say that Biden wouldn't do that. I think every politician makes a lot of money. And I don't think that that's like, I think that they're all kind of considered ultra wealthy, but I do think that like, whatever. Okay, moving on from just be aware of that when it's election time. Okay. Democrats have been seeking to restore the full annual amount of a COVID-era expansion of the child tax credit of up to $3,600 per child that expired in 2021. Republicans, meanwhile, have been seeking to restore immediate expensing of R&D and capital expenditures that were part of the Republican-passed tax cuts in 2017, but began to phase out in 2022. And R&D stands for research and development. So that's a business tax cut from what I'm reading. Okay. While the business tax breaks were restored in the deal, the child tax credit expansions fell short, reaching only $2,000 per child in 2025. So Republicans are wanting $2,000 per child. Democrats are wanting to restore that to up to $3,600, from what I understand. The measure also includes tax breaks for affordable housing and people hit by disasters, including wildfires and a train derailment in Ohio last year. Republican Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith, a Republican, said the bill contains common sense fixes to the tax code that will rebuild our communities, support better jobs and wages, and grow our economy. They always say that. The Joint Committee on Taxation estimates that the measure will increase the U.S. deficit by almost $400 million, $399 million over 10 years, with $77.5 billion in added cost offset by $77.1 billion in savings by beefing up enforcement of fraudulent claims on the troubled COVID-era employee retention tax credit and ending the processing of claims early. It's interesting, and I would like to read more about that portion of that, but probably not today. While the vote indicates strong congressional support for the measure, including from Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer, it remains unclear whether it will move to the House floor as a standalone bill or attached to other must-pass fiscal legislation. The vote came after Congress late on Thursday averted a shutdown of some government agencies with stopgap measures that buys just over a month to reach an elusive deal on government funding for the fiscal year that had already began in October. Okay, so we're gonna also Google, should I wait to file taxes? Okay. So the IRS, we're just going to read this little bold headline really quick. The IRS announced it will officially begin accepting 2023 tax returns on Monday, January 29th. But although official processing won't begin until that date, filers shouldn't wait to start working on their tax returns. Uh, ba, 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 ba. But I believe that they're still working out some things. There's a clear value tax video on this where he explains it much better than I am. So I would just wait a little while is my opinion. Okay. I would really try and share whatever I had, I really would. I do believe, but it's interesting because technically on paper, technically I have now reached that net worth of $1 million. But but my mom is still shopping at the food bank. So I don't have like a ton of extra money, but I did, and I'm very fortunate for this. We took her to a dermatologist and I paid out of pocket. That visit was right around $100. So I'm so fortunate that I had an extra $100 to take her. It didn't help. He didn't have any advice for her. P.S. I know you guys love my mom almost as much as I do. She is suffering from eczema on her hands so bad, and it breaks my little heart to look at it. Her little fingers are splitting open. She's never really had eczema that I remember, except for like maybe the last like 3 years, maybe a little bit before that. But like she hasn't had eczema her whole life. It's just on her little hands. Like if she's eating chicken or something, it hurts her little finger. It's and I honestly can't look at it. I'm not good at like stomaching stuff like that. But anyway, let me tell you guys what she's allergic to. So maybe you'll be like, oh, she could try this. Hi, Joy and Joey. Joy and Joey's Adventures. Where are you adventuring to? Okay, so my mom's allergic to the colloidal oatmeal. She's somehow allergic to the oatmeal, we think, and lotions, which is something that really can heal. She's allergic to like hydrocortisone, so the steroids in that make it worse, so she can't have any of that, and then sulfa. So sulfa, which is also an ingredient in a lot of lotions and stuff. So we're kind of between those three things, like we're kind of at our wits end. And then my mom's not like allergic to the medicines in the sense where like she can't breathe and needs an EpiPen or something like that, but my mom experiences side effects of medications really, really bad. So she was trying something topical as a medicine um after the lotions, and it made her like nauseous and have headaches, and it was just not good. Okay. So anyway, if you guys have any ideas of something that might work, she's just using regular Vaseline right now, which helps a little bit, but that's what she's been using for like 3 years, and it's not getting better. Ah. Oh, Joy and Joey, you should follow my friend Grant Navarre. He and I are the ones that filmed like the interview with the millionaire video before. Oh, why is no, don't share his his contact information. Siri's way too sensitive today. She has really bad eczema on her skin, on her hands, and she's like allergic to everything. Also, sorry, we're going to sidetrack and then we're going to talk about EDD changing their payment. Debbie's going to want to know what the top movie was this week, and it's actually still Poor Things. Oh yeah, my mom is saying that she is allergic to about 167 out of 220 things. All right, so the top movie this week at my location is back to being Poor Things. So, you guys sometimes are like, do you recommend that movie? I liked it. It's not a movie that I would want to see with my mom. I wouldn't recommend like seeing it with fathers or daughters or family members. Go with your significant others, go with like peers of your own age. Go with your girlfriends, go with your guy friends, but not like don't go see it with your relatives. It's too I called it vulgar is how I called it. I came out and I said, "Oh, it was vulgar," and I loved it. There is a point to all the parts of the film being vulgar, but it's a lot, for some people, and some people walk out and they're like, "I hate this, and it's this." I'm enjoying reading all the negative comments about that movie on Rotten Tomatoes, but I tend to side with the positive comments, but it's not for everyone, that is for sure, but I do think it's very good. I loved Emma Stone's performance in it. I like the director, Lanthimos. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but I tend to like his movies. He did The Lobster, he did The Favorite, but he definitely pushes the envelope on this one. So that one has been out for a while, but it is winning a lot of awards, which I think is what has the interest up in it. And then we opened a film called The Zone of Interest this week, which is doing really well as well. And then a movie that I do recommend seeing with your family is American Fiction. My mom and I saw that this past week together, and that's really good. Then there's another film doing pretty well for us called All Us Strangers. I haven't had a chance to see that. That one should be pretty good. Again, that's not one that I personally would take my mom to see, but I can't really speak for sure because I haven't seen it. It does look good, and it's one of my friend's favorite movies this year. So those are the probably top 4 at where I work. Mean Girls is not standing the test of time right now, but we are playing that as well. So, yeah, top 2, Poor Things Again, even though it's been out for quite a while because, it's getting a lot of awards attention. And then The Zone of Interest because that's new, and that one's subtitled. That one looks pretty heavy. I'm not sure if I'll watch that one. Okay, so let's find I'm gonna look for the clear value tax video and then see if I can link that. YouTube. We're gonna go to YouTube. Why did I do it that way? I don't know. Okay. This is what's on my For You page, by the way. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It's like, what's it? Okay. Clear value taxes. Let's just do this. It'll probably come right up. Child. So it's the child tax credit expansion update from 2 days ago. Let's see if it'll let me share this. It will. We're going to copy the link so that then I can put that right here in the chat. So guys, if you're interested on why it is my opinion to wait to file your taxes, check out that video by Clear Value Tax. He's going to explain it a lot better than I am, and he actually is I don't know if he's still a tax advisor. I don't know if he's gotten so big on YouTube that he's not kept up with his license, or I don't know if once you're licensed forever. But please check out that video. I did just drop the link in chat. Also, you can just type in Clear Value Tax, and that's gonna come out. So yeah, they're looking at expanding it, and according to his words. So I don't know if he's recommending it or if it's just his opinion as well. But that's where I first heard about potentially waiting to file your taxes. So I am going to side with him, and my opinion is also to wait to file your taxes just for a little bit. Okay. Joy and Joey's says, I have psoriasis, which is the sister to eczema, and our oldest daughter has eczema. The only thing that helps her is Vaseline, Aquaform, and steroid cream. So my mom's not able to take at least the steroid cream that she has tried. No, that's fine. Joy and Joey, if we've got solutions for my mom, I would love to try and figure them out because it breaks my little heart. And my mom is like, please quit trying. My mom's like, you're frustrating me. She's over it, but I'm not. Like, I want to try and help her. To the point, like, I've thought about making TikToks. So far, and I guess the dermatologist pointed out that there's different forms of steroid creams, but so far the ones that my mom has tried are not good for her. She's not able to take hydrocortisone at all. So I think that's the usual one that they do. And then what did she do now? Ba, 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 ba. She tried this one that's supposed to be really good. Hold on. Clobetasol. Clobetasol was the one that she tried, and it didn't like she experienced bad side effects, and it made like the splitting worse and things. And so she wasn't able to tolerate that one. And so we kind of now are not sure what might be an option. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at, well, we're going to look at the EDD stuff in a second. So the California Unemployment Center is changing how they send out, like how people get paid. It used to be the Bank of America EDD debit card, and they're changing that. So I think for old time's sake, we are going to read an EDD news release. Isn't that fun? So let's go to the good old EDD website. What the hell? Oops, sorry. I need to say, what? Okay, what is going on here? It didn't want to take me there. All right. And I have some coffee. That means please like the video. Let's just, for funsies, let's look at the unemployment benefit data real quick. So new and reopened claims since March of 2020. That's a lot. Total benefits paid since March of 2020. Now remember, March of 2020 was the pandemic. Claims paid within 1 week. All right. So we're up to 1 in 80%. So look, I know a lot of you guys are not math folks. So here's how you figure out 80%, right? I've got 5 fingers, 20, 40, 60, 80. To get to 100%, that takes the 5th finger. I'm going to just put it in front of my face. I don't want to put my hand. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So 81% is pretty much 80%. So they're paying out 20, 40, 60, 80. They're paying out 80% on time, but that still leaves this little, so 1 in 5 people, because I've got, these are people, 20, 40, 60, 80. So those 80% have been paid out on time. So 4 people, but 1 in 5 people is still not being paid out within the first week of their claim. Okay. Backlog of claims. Siri, stop. I don't know what's up with my watch right now. I'm going to put my hand behind my back. Okay. And then total unemployment claims. I do still read this. It's going up a little bit. Does it not have the chart? Oof. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at that spike back in, that was July of 2020. 500,000 claims, 500 million claims. And oh my God, sorry, gonna go off on a tangent here for a second. So normally they're filing 201,000 claims. Is how many they're used to processing, right? Look how big that spike is. There's just no way. There's no way that any business, I know that we don't like the way the EDD handled things, but there's just no way that any business can prepare for that level of spike. And I promise you guys that the bad way it was handled, it was like that in every single state, because you just can't go from those real low numbers to a spike like that with any kind of efficiency. Like if my movie theater was doing that and then all of a sudden did that level of business, like, it would be insane. Okay. Wow. That chart is a hot mess. Anyway, okay. So we were just kind of looking at the tools and things. Okay, so let's go to the newsroom because I believe this has been released. Yeah. Okay. Ugh. Okay, so the new unemployment rate is 5.1% as of December of 2023. So it's up a whole percentage point from where we were at the end of 2022. And I like to look at that's interesting though, because it's saying that there's more jobs than there were. So in December of 2022, it's saying that there were 17,869,700 jobs. This year, it's saying that there's 18,180,700 jobs. It also tells you what industries are up and what industries are down. So let's just look at that real quick in case anyone's considering a career change. Private education and health services, that's up. Let's look at the year-over-year numbers. So that's up 150,000 jobs. Government, that's up 78,200 jobs. Leisure and hospitality is up 99,100 jobs. Manufacturing is down. It was up for the month of December, but year over year, it's down 6,600 jobs. Other services. And we're just going to go by this picture here. Like mechanics, repair people, that's just some hair cutting scissors, a broom. So maybe like house cleaning services, like service goods and services. That those jobs are up 19,600. Construction 25,900. I know that this is weird, but I would love to take some construction classes just because like I would like to be able to get further along and like know more about repairs and be able to do them myself. Mining and logging, that is down 200 jobs. Financial activities down 7,400 jobs. Information, so IT basically is down 36,000 jobs. Trade, transportation, and utilities, that's up 24,000 jobs. And then professional and business services is down 36,200 jobs. So it looks like if somebody, let me search, it won't. So it's looking like if somebody were going to transition jobs, the most jobs to be had would be in private education and health services. Okay, that's not why I opened this though, but it's interesting because I wanted to check because we haven't done that in a while. So we're going to go back. And we're going to read this one about the EDD transitioning to the Money Network prepaid debit cards for benefit payments. Now, Money Network is who they used for the middle class tax refund. So it's a company that they've worked with before, but that must be who has their contract now. And do I think this will cause hiccups with people's unemployment payments? Absolutely. So do I once again have Claimer linked down below? I do. I wish that people didn't need their services anymore, but they still do. Okay. So EDD transitioning to Money Network prepaid debit cards for benefit payments. Payments on new cards will begin after February 15th. The Employment Development Department, the EDD, is contacting unemployment, disability, and paid family leave customers with timelines and information to assist the transition from the Bank of America debit cards to Money Network prepaid debit cards. Starting January 15th, customers who qualify for payments will receive a payment issued to their Bank of America debit card, as well as be sent an unfunded Money Network card. Beginning February 15th, benefit payments will be issued to the Money Network cards and no longer to the Bank of America debit card. So guys, we can finally throw away our old EDD debit cards if we still have those sitting around from the pandemic, because they're changing the form of payment. I think for a while they said, keep your Bank of America EDD debit cards because those are valid for 3 years. And when that pandemic first hit, people didn't know that if they had had unemployment benefits within the last 3 years, the EDD would just issue it onto those old cards. A lot of people were like, okay, my benefits are done, I'm tossing that card. Well, now you can go ahead and toss any Bank of America EDD debit card that you had because they're switching over to the Money Network. So yeah, it's finally okay to switch those out. Okay. All right. So starting January 15th, so a few days ago, you're going to get your regular payments issued to that Bank of America debit card, but you're also going to be sent a Money Network card. It's going to be unfunded, so there's not going to be any money. But payments starting February 15th, they're going to be issued to the Money Network card. So don't throw that card out. Don't think that's a scam. Hang on to the Money Network EDD debit card. And then here's a little picture of it. What it should be what it should look like. Ooh. Oh, I like this. This is what we all wanted during the height of the pandemic. A new direct deposit option will also be added later this year. But still, like, it's coming. It's in writing. So that's progress. That's good. Okay. The EDD asks customers to allow up to 14 days for that unfunded Money Network card to arrive. For example, if an individual qualified for payment on January 15th, allow up to February 1st for that new Money Network card. Individuals who don't receive their card after that period can contact the Money Network at 1-800-684-7051. I'm going to read that again. If you qualified for a payment on January 15th, that should still go on your EDD debit card, on your Bank of America debit card. But that's when they're going to start sending the Money Network cards. So basically, 14 business days from when you would expect your payment. If you don't get that Money Network card, that's when you would want to call. So again, if I'm reading this correctly, like if your payment would be the 20th, then you would want to wait till like February 5th to call the Money Network if you didn't get it. So the Money Network debit card number is 1-800-684-7051. Cards will arrive in a plain white letter-sized envelope from the EDD with a Omaha, Nebraska NE return address, since that's where the cards are manufactured. Important details on what the EDD's customers should expect. That it's not going to roll out very smoothly based on like their past performance, unfortunately. Important details on what EDD's customers should expect throughout this transition are being delivered through personal emails and text messages in late January. The messaging follows letters, emails, and text message sent in early December to all active customers at the time, advising them of the upcoming change and key dates involved. Check the EDD's debit card webpage for updates. Closing out the Bank of America cards. Important deadline. April 15th of this year is the last day individuals will be able to use their Bank of America debit card. Customers are encouraged to use or transfer any remaining balance on their debit cards before that date. So all along through the pandemic, I even have older videos about how to transfer your funds from the Bank of America EDD debit card to your regular bank account. And you want to do that as soon as possible because unfortunately, you have to be alert against fraud, which is the next portion of this. Stay alert against fraud. The EDD will never request personal information by text message, email, or on social media. Text messages asking to activate a benefits card by selecting a link are scams. The EDD's text messages only link to websites that include edd.ca.gov. The EDD encourages customers to remain vigilant and safeguard their financial information and personal information. Visit Help Fight Fraud for tips on how to avoid scams. Upcoming service updates. Starting this spring, the EDD will begin phasing in a new direct deposit option for payment of customers' benefits administered by the Money Network, which will be described in forthcoming communications from the EDD. This update is one of many upcoming customer service enhancements that are being introduced as part of transformational period for the department called EDD Next. The department is dedicated to improving its customer experience, modernizing technologies and self-service options, simplifying forms and notices, and increasing efficiencies for staff with updated policies and procedures, all focused on making the experience of the EDD's customers easier and faster. Wow. Okay, guys, that was really like a trip down memory lane to be rereading one of the EDD news releases. But yeah, I did think that was important because I know a lot of people still find my videos based on EDD. So that's that information that you need. I know. Joy and Joey says, LOL. Talking about the EDD brings me back to the pandemic. So thankful it's over. Yep, same. Is it raining again? I guess it is. I love the rain, you guys. All right. So watch Clear Value Taxes video about an expanded child tax credit. If you're on unemployment, fingers crossed that you find a new great job quickly and that none of this like transitioning to a new debit card affects you guys. I'm so glad to hear that they're finally going to be offering a direct deposit option, but not till later in the year. Call Claimer to call the EDD if you do need to call them about any of this. It is a paid service, but it's going to save you time in the long run and probably frustration. So I do still recommend them if you can't get through after first trying to call for free. I think I'm going to head out and enjoy this little bit of rain and read by a window so I can see the rain falling. I will see you next week at 11 a.m. If you have any questions about this new EDD debit card or about the expanded child care tax credit or just ideas for topics next week, please leave those in the comments below. Please don't forget to like the video. Thank you so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time. Have a great Sunday.